Hi, I'm Stephen Hong with the Full Circle Home Team and RE/MAX Results, and today I bring to you a video about Minneapolis and Saint Paul houses through the decades. I'm a photographer and have photographed over 1,000 homes, and I thought I'd go back through the photos and put them into a video showing how the houses progressed through the decades. Keep watching! The other similar video I created is called Twin Cities Through the Decades, link found in the description. That video features over 500 houses, and this one features just over 200 houses within Minneapolis proper and Saint Paul proper. Each of these homes is shown for 2 seconds, which totals about 7 minutes. In the late 1800s, we will see Victorian-era homes with Victorian-era features such as decorative ornamentation, a turn-of-the-century color palette, and wraparound porches. Some of these Victorian-era homes have lost these touches due to rot, decay, and remodels over the years. Also in these couple of decades are some large condo buildings. This is because these buildings had a different original purpose and were converted to condos in more recent years. In the early 1900s and into the 10s and 20s, we start to see the famous Craftsman bungalow and other bungalows. These smallish houses are scattered throughout both Minneapolis and Saint Paul, and in this era, these high-style bungalows feature original woodwork, built-in buffets, built-in bookcases, hardwood floors, and a lot more of this old-style detail. The kitchens were usually pretty small in these houses, and also in this era, we start seeing the prairie-style home and the four-square. The 20s also brought in the Art Deco style. There are very few residential buildings with Art Deco style, but there are a number of commercial buildings like the Fauché Tower. Some of these details of the Art Deco style carry into the Tudor revival homes that were built in the 1930s. Speaking of the Tudor revival home, this style started in 1920s and carried through the 30s, and this style is usually marked by the half timbering on the exterior facade and the stonework within the stucco. There are many of these types of homes in Minneapolis and Saint Paul. During World War II, we had very few houses built due to the war effort. Many manufacturing and resources were put to use to help the war effort. But right after the war, there were lots of houses being built due to the need for housing for many of the returning veterans. They were coming back and wanting to settle down and start families. There are two styles that were prominent in the 1940s and 50s. The first style, or lack of style, is called the minimal traditional home. This home is the typical 1.5-story home that features very little ornamentation. There are a ton of these that were built mostly through the 40s. They feature bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, and living rooms. Nothing noteworthy except maybe the glass doorknobs. The second style in this era was the ranch-style home, or locally called the Rambler. This single-story house was built in the 50s and 60s. There are a lot of these ranch or Rambler homes in the Twin Cities, and they were easy to build, sturdy, and affordable. Minneapolis and Saint Paul was mostly fully built out by the end of the 60s, and what was built after the 60s is primarily fill-in houses here and there. Sometimes there was an area that was converted and then developed into new housing, but that's very little of Minneapolis and Saint Paul. We'll find some split-level houses and some newer condo developments in the 70s and 80s, and I've got a couple high-rise condos in the 2000s. Currently, in the 2010s and 2020s, there are some teardowns and contemporary replacement housing, but other than that, that's it. Hope that was interesting. Give me some feedback, and if you're looking to buy or sell in Minneapolis or Saint Paul or the surrounding Twin Cities, contact me.